I'm back. So you guys really seem to love the first video I released, and to that I say... Anyways, I can't thank you guys enough for all those subscribers. You guys are really awesome people, and we're almost halfway to 100 subs, so if you're not subscribed, please sub and try to help me reach that goal. Now, one thing I didn't mention before is that I adore making my own stories, and I have since I was a little kid. To me, writing stories was like a clay model that you could squash and mold around however you wanted to be. But, as you could expect for an adorable little kid, I didn't really understand plot, or any of that stuff, so it was really just a personification of my little race car brain going... Amidst all the little stories I wrote, there was always one that stood out to me, and I cherished it with every fiber of my tiny little being. So let me take you back to where it all began. Imagine me and the little things you know about me, but in a more compact package. I was in the 1st grade at the time, and it was around October. Our teacher had assigned us some fun little Halloween activities to do, like coloring in pumpkins and all that wholesome 1st grade stuff.
I can't read.
However, one of them struck my eye. It read, "Write a comic strip about a superhero mummy who saves Halloween." So I sat down and got to work, and let me tell you, it made no sense. At this point, I was really proud of myself for creating such an artistic feat, so I decided to make 2 more. A year or so later, me and my dad were driving home from somewhere when we saw one of those Amazon treasure trucks that gives stuff away for a lot cheaper. Me and him both spotted this old retro Nintendo classic, and so we bought it and took it home. I kid you not, I spent hours on that thing. It had loads of retro games on it, but probably my favorite was Kirby. I hadn't even played the Kirby game for a few days before I looked at the Nintendo, I looked at my Super Mummy comics, and my brain began to work. And so Super Mummy's sidekick was born. Ninja Kirby. It's not very original, but hey, could you blame me? I was like 6. Also, as any 6-year-old of my generation would do, I loved Animal Jam Play Wild. I played that thing religiously. Whenever there would be a new outfit in the shop, I would beg my parents for some money to buy it, and one of them was a reindeer suit around Christmas time. However, once I had obtained it, I looked at the suit, I looked at the Super Mummy comic, and my brain began to work again. And so, Super Mummy's other sidekick was born, Wonder Reindeer. Hello? Yeah, of course I know the name's cringy. What am I supposed to do about it? Yeah, well, you try and make a 6-year-old boy make a story that makes sense. Fast forward a little. When school started to open up again, I was going into the 2nd grade, and I started to find out about the craze of Pokemon. I was particularly intrigued by Rayquaza. I guess it was something about its design or how powerful it was. It just made me look at the Rayquaza, it made me look at the Super Mummy comic, and it made my brain start to work. Bam! Super Mummy Fights the Rayquaza Dragon, my first actual novel. Like, it wasn't a comic book, it was a book that had pictures in it, and for some reason the dialogue was on the bottom of the page. After making this one, I needed to make more, so bam! Rise of DNA Man. Wait, what? Yeah, so for some reason I killed off Super Mummy. I don't know why, he was the greatest character ever. By now I was at the stage of life that we all have, where I instantly believed clickbait and made up things that I knew weren't true, but I beheld them as true anyway, so you can imagine that not a lot of things I put in my book made any sense. As well as several new villains to bring to the table with various inspirations. Looking back at some of these, they were not all that well thought out. Look at this one, it's called Hypnotized Villain. As in, that's his name. Hypnotized Villain. I didn't know how to name this guy, so I didn't. After making all these new books, I figured that there should be one ultimate villain. A Palpatine, if you will. His name was the Devil King, which I guess is supposed to symbolize that he's bad, I don't know. So after a huge battle, of course, DNA Man came out on top. When making it, I promised that that would be the final Super Mummy / DNA installment that I would make. I didn't keep my promise. Bam! I'm in 4th grade and I've made 2 fresh new Super Mummy books with, guess what, even more bootlegs of stuff that already exists. Bam! DNA Man, Power of the Trio, and the Devil King's Return. Yup, it's a 2-parter, oh boy! So these next 2 books were just ways of bringing the main villain back to life in a cool new form that's totally not an Equestria Girls reference. After hearing about this, obviously DNA Man's gotta swoop in and save the day, becoming more powerful than ever, with some very goofy-ass sound effects. After a long fight sequence that I can't fit into this video, Super Mummy is once again the hero, and the Devil King is killed off for good. As the crowd cheers, Super Mummy turns around and sees another Super Mummy? Yup, I decided to add a character that is just like them and is hot and has no reason for being there other than to be the soulmate of the protagonist and to progress the plot. Very creative. Anyways, I was planning on doing a whole new continuation with this new hot girl Super Mummy, who I called Cleo, as in Cleopatra, but then disaster struck. It was springtime, and I was making a new Super Mummy comic and doing my homework at the same time when all of a sudden, she came in. At my elementary school, there were some people who weren't teachers but were really just supervisors that went from class to class, helping kids do their classwork and overseeing the class when their teacher needed to go do something outside of the classroom. However, there was one old supervisor at my school who was really strict, and I didn't have good vibes from her to begin with. I kept drawing, and I was almost getting to the good part when she appeared from right behind me, took it out of my hand, ripped it up, and threw away. Little 4th grade me not being able to do anything about it. That day, she took me to another room and had me sit down and do all my homework until I was done. And for a fidgety 4th grader who had a short attention span, it was a living hell. From then on, I didn't really make Super Mummy comics again, until the next year. Bam! 5th grade. One day I was shuffling through old stacks of paper trying to find something. I don't remember exactly what. And I found these dusty old comic books, and it brought back everything. So far, no full Super Mummy reiterations have sprung up, but I've been doing some concept art recently about it. If you want to see it, go ahead and leave a like. And if you aren't subscribed, go on. The door. Wait, but I can still subscribe. Run along now. You're not welcome here. Anyways, that's it for this video. Make sure to like and subscribe and also hit that bell to get notified when my next video is coming out. Also, sorry this video took so long to make. I'm trying my best and I got slowed down by a trip to go see family, which I might talk about in another video. Speaking of another video, my next video is going to be a collab with my buddy Jellybird. He's awesome, sub to him, link in the description. Also, me and Brenimation Films are planning on getting together to do something, but we haven't set a specific date for that, so just be ready for that collab in the near future. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. Anyways, see ya. Subscribe.